YouTube and Snapchat and fuckers, welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Well, it's like 1,000,000 fucking degrees outside. Holy shit. It's like the armpit of hell. Well, it's Friday the 13th. What a show we got today. So, without any further ado, and away we go. Before we start, I want to tip my hat to today's libation. Because it's 1,000,000 fucking degrees out today, I needed something cold and refreshing and delightful. So I opted for a frozen margarita. But not just any frozen margarita. No, you're probably wondering, why the fuck is it purple? Is it beet juice? No, this is actually a frozen blueberry lemon margarita. Made with Casamigos. Mira, just the good stuff, you know. You put that in there, it's very good. So, very simple. 2 shots of tequila, shot of Cointreau, about a half a cup of lemonade, about 4 ounces of lemonade. You want to grate some fresh lemon zest. You want to put about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of blueberries, puree the whole shit up in a blender with some ice, and there you go, azalud, to drink up and be somebody. Woo! Oh yeah, baby, that'll have you speaking in Spanish pretty soon. Plus, it's full of antioxidants, so it's good for COVID prevention. So, Nostril-gate. The Cuomo saga ends. Ding dong, Cuomo's gone. The Cuomo saga ends like a dribble at the end of a limp dick. His once promising political career ended like 2 drops of pee on a pair of khaki pants. Unless you just landed on planet Earth, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Governor Nostrils' epic resignation on Tuesday. Now, it seemed to come out of left field. It took a lot of people by surprise, and the reason is because before his televised resignation, his attorney held a press conference, about a 30-minute press conference, and she laid out a fucking strong defense, which even had me fucking, can't stand Cuomo, even had me going, gee, did this guy get fucking railroaded? So I fully expected that he was just gonna, fight this fucking tooth and nail, ride it out to the bitter end. But, no. Now, here's why I think he resigned, okay? Because people are speculating, because it equally surprised a lot of people as to why he resigned, even though there were rampant calls for him stepping down, blah, blah, blah. So, a couple of seeds of thought here. He was running around the weekend before trying to cut a deal with the state assembly to not impeach him. Probably said, listen, if you don't impeach me, I won't run again next term. And they weren't going for that, because there were rumors that he was trying to cut a deal with the state assembly. I knew something was coming down the line because Sunday night, his chief of staff, Melissa, who was named like 110 times in that fucking report, Melissa DeRosa, she abruptly resigned. So I knew something was up. But I guess he couldn't cut a deal. Now, unless the deal was for him to resign. Here's why I say this. If they impeach him, if they were to impeach him, in the state of New York, he wouldn't be able to run again for state office. So, by resigning, he could still run again for state office. And he's just that fucking cocky. So, I think that has something to do with it. He could be facing criminal charges over this. He's definitely going to probably face civil suits over this as well. And the funny thing is, and I said last week there's no way that anybody could prosecute him. But I'll tell you when I'm fucking wrong. I was wrong because he changed the law a couple of years ago. Let me explain. So, the funny thing is here, that the laws that he fucking changed and put into place are actually going to come back and bite him in the fucking dick. And you know something? That's karma. I love it. So, basically, when it comes to sexual harassment being exhibited as a criminal offense, you don't need to have proof. I know, it's fucking nuts. He signed this into law. They just have to be able to demonstrate that the harassment is disruptive and not typical of the workplace. So in other words, if you're in the adult entertainment business, if you're a porn star and somebody comes up and rubs their dick on your face, that's not sexual harassment. It's actually part of the workplace. And it's not disruptive because chances are there's a camera filming it. But if you're in the governor's office, you know, asking somebody about their sex life or, you know, fondling them or grabbing their ass and their tits, even if there's no fucking witnesses, is not really indicative of the workplace and therefore deemed harassment and could be considered a misdemeanor criminal offense. So he could be looking at some criminal charges here. Granted, not felonies, but still some criminal charges. These women have already lawyered up. Okay, they're going to probably be coming after him civilly, which is why his attorney gave that press conference. I strongly believe that. See, it all started to come into, because people were pondering, well, why is the attorney talking if he's going to resign? Because he's basically, that's kind of his first, he's preemptively warning them, look, don't fuck with me, okay? Whatever, you say, I touched your ass, I did this, I did that, it was all unintentional, but you know what, if we want to litigate this based on facts, because the Attorney General's report is shoddy at best. They're not allowing his attorney to look at their evidence, which is illegal. So there's a lot of shit like that in the report. So it's pretty one-sided. So basically, if this was to go to court, either criminally or civilly, I believe he would get off on it. Not actually ejaculate on his slacks, but unless he started touching the judge. I mean, we don't know. But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. So I think by resigning, he's hoping that alleviates a lot of that shit. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if he fucking runs again. Maybe he might run for state assembly. He might run. Who the hell knows? Because this guy's a little fucking demented. But, you know, his lawyer said that in an effort to get to know his staff, you know, because she's trying to paint him as, just a harmless individual. She said that, you know, in an effort to get to know his staff, he typically likes to ask the staff members about their personal life. Like, you know, are you married? How's your vagina? Etc. You know, stuff like that. She even threw Chuck Schumer under the bus and said Schumer does the exact same thing. Now, simultaneously, somebody had whispered in Schumer's ear what was going on, to which he exclaimed, "What? I don't even like vagina. I'm a closeted gay that looks like Winterbolt from the Rudolph cartoons. What the fuck is he talking about?" You know? Come on, you can see him doing that. But I stand by what I said in last week's episode. I don't believe that all of these allegations are harassment. You know, like the hugging and the kissing and the saying of sweetheart or honey, you know. Listen, here's why I say that shit, okay? I do that. Now, granted, I don't run around hugging and kissing people. Okay, I don't like people, but unless I like them. But you know, calling people sweetheart or honey is not sexual harassment, you fucking morons. Matter of fact, that retard Pisaki the other day said that referring to a woman as intelligent, smart, or nice is considered sexism. What the fuck are you supposed to call them then? You know, so listen, I do that. Okay, it's a Brooklyn thing, it's a borough thing. He is from Queens, you know, it's an Italian thing. And really, I'm not, because it's not, when I call someone honey or sweetheart or whatever, it's not because I like you. Unless I know you personally. But even babe, like, I just, you know, it's because I can't remember your fucking name, okay? Because you didn't really make that much of a fucking impression on me. All right, I'm old. I can't remember everything. So, you know, I mean, shit, I do that to guys, too. You know, hey, babe, how you doing, pal? You know, I mean, it's just how I talk, okay? And you know something? I don't make any fucking apologies for that. If that offends someone, they can easily go kill themselves. It's no problem. I won't worry about it. But, okay, you know, again, like I said, Italians are passionate people. We're known for, you know, being that way. It doesn't mean anything sexual or any kind of fucking innuendo. listen, it's a stereotype. And stereotypes, I'm going to tell you, are all based in some kind of truth. Fun fact, So, but that being said, that is no excuse to be a pervert. You know what I mean? So, which is kind of what he was sort of implying. When I think about you, I touch your breast. I don't want to be placed under arrest, but when I think about you, I touch your breast. He must have breasts and valves, I guess. I don't know. So, the bottom line here really is Cuomo's aides did not manage him properly. I don't blame the guy. Well, I do, but his aides, his people, his handlers have some responsibility in this, okay? Because if they would have managed him like a fucking pandemic, this wouldn't have happened. Keep everyone 6 feet away from him in all four directions at all times. If you can't grab, touch, or fondle if you can't reach him, okay? Masks should be worn around him at all times, whether indoors or outdoors. You can't kiss him if you can't see their lips, all right? And never, ever get into an elevator, speak to him, or make eye contact with him under any circumstances whatsoever, because, especially if you're a woman, because if he doesn't know that you're there, he can't sexually harass you, grope you, or ask you about your sex life. You see? Now, had they managed him like he managed the pandemic, he'd still have a fucking job today, right? So look, all I'm saying here is there's a time and a place for everything. Even for tits and ass grabbing, for example. Okay, so if you're romantically involved with somebody, then yeah, by all means, grab them, slap them, rub them, bite them, motorboat the shit out of them. Have a good fucking time, you know what I mean? Just get in there, okay? But, if they work for you, they work with you, or perhaps maybe you just met, you should probably refrain from doing that as it is frowned upon in regular society. You know what I mean? Whether you're Italian, German, black, Israeli, whatever the fuck you are, just, like I said, if you're dating them, go nuts. If you're not, maybe dial it back a little bit. Just say it, just a little bit. So, look. I know I'm just having way too much fun with this. It's just, to me, it's hilarious that a year ago, every frumpy housewife in New York was declaring themselves Cuomo-sexuals and then finger blasting themselves for 45 fucking minutes every afternoon during one of his fucking annoying COVID briefings. Okay? As a matter of fact, around this time last year, he was gushing all over Fauci in one of his dumbass briefings. Like, he had Fauci zoom in, right? And he's sitting there gushing all over him, how helpful he's been and how great he is, and he's an Italian from Brooklyn, and all this other shit. And he's sitting there pontificating over, get this, if De Niro and Pacino will be playing him in the Cuomo, who do you think's gonna play us in the movie? De Niro and Pacino are gonna play Cuomo and Fauci. Could you imagine this? Could you imagine? You know what? I'd watch this movie if it was made today. Could you see this? De Niro as Cuomo. I'm touching you. Huh? I'm touching you. Maybe a little bit. No, just a little bit. Okay. Ha! Mask! One mask, two masks, ha ha! 2, 3 masks, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? I'd watch that. So his resignation goes into effect in 14 days. Well, actually it was 14 days from Tuesday, so I think it's 12 days? 11 days now? I don't know. He basically gave his 2 weeks notice. Now, let's see what kind of fucktard this lieutenant governor is going to be. Kathy Hochul, who no one knew who this fucking woman was until Tuesday. She was just a nothing, a nobody, okay? Till Tuesday. Let me tell you something. In my next life, I want to come back as a lieutenant governor. It's the best job in the world. You're probably collecting a 6-figure salary. You don't have to do nothing. You don't do anything. You sit in a corner somewhere in Albany. You mind your business. You play a little golf or whatever the fuck. I don't know what the hell this broad does. But you don't have to do nothing until the fucking governor just starts fondling people. Okay? But if the governor's a Republican, you don't have to worry about that shit. It only happens with Democratic governors. They're the only ones that get embroiled in sex scandals, like Spitzer, Clinton, Cuomo. This fucking guy. Just because he couldn't behave himself like a regular fucking person, he ruined his entire family. I mean, his father built a political legacy. And then here comes little Andrew, fucking ruins all of that. They're probably going to take Mario Cuomo's name off the fucking bridge because, if one of these women that he allegedly assaulted goes across the bridge, they might black out and fucking drive off the Tappan Zee Bridge because they see the fucking Cuomo name and they start having PTSD. So I would imagine that they're probably going to change the name of the bridge. And now his brother's career is in fucking jeopardy. So this guy, because he checked a few valves, fucking ruined the entire family's life. I wonder what his mother has to say about all of this. Well, what's the matter with you? You can't. Well, you touch everything. You touch people. You touch their ass. You touch their tits. I wonder what Matilda has to say about that. Or she goes, no, my Andrew, you're not doing things like that. He's a good boy. He's a nice man. Knowing Italian mothers, that's probably exactly, unless it was my mother. Because my mother, she's like Marie Baron. She would just go, yeah, he's a son of a bitch. She doesn't watch this because she doesn't know how to use technology, so I could say that. But getting back to Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, soon to be Governor Kathy Hochul, this broad, I when I saw a picture of her, I almost fell off my fucking chair. She could play a stunt double for fucking Nancy Pelosi. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Look. I'm not kidding. She could play a stunt double for fucking Nancy Pelosi. He definitely did not. Cuomo definitely did not fondle this woman, harass her in any way, touch anything on her, kiss her or anything. Because look at her fucking face. Looks like a wrinkled old vagina. It's fucking horrifying to look at. Now, I personally think she's going to be worse than Cuomo. Because from what I read about her, I mean, she did a little time in Congress and state assemblies, county executive type of shit. Politically, she's been around, but she's a fucking radical. She's been known for it. So, hey, she could be getting ready to do another shutdown. And like I said, I think because he never bothered to harass her, that's why she kind of threw him under the bus the other day. Like she gave a press conference and basically said, I don't like him. I never agreed with him and I don't condone anything he does. Typical. I mean, people keep calling me up and asking, oh my God, you must be so excited about Cuomo's resignation. And, I got to tell you, it's bittersweet. I'm not I wasn't, I'm happy he's gone, but at the same time, I'm not. Wait, I'm gonna explain why. Don't breathe, okay? Because I kind of wanted to see him get impeached and like get impeached for like a real crime. Not that sexual harassment is something to kind of turn your nose up at, but like some of these allegations are legitimate sounding, okay? And some of them are just fucking, fluff. Like, oh, he hugged me. I felt his dick brush against me. Like, come on. Oh, he gave me a kiss on the cheek and I felt uncomfortable. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Yeah. He called me sweetheart and I felt objectified and my nipples were sad. Like, that's the type of shit that I don't consider sexual harassment. Grabbing someone's tits in their ass, yes, I do, okay? So some of these allegations are legit, some I believe aren't. But to me, when I say a real crime, okay, I'm talking about like, killing like, 10,000 senior citizens, embezzling taxpayer dollars, shit like that. So I wanted to see him get impeached for a real crime, and he even managed to fuck that up. Okay? But Biden seems to think he did a hell of a job. So the lesson here is that you could kill 10,000 senior citizens. You could embezzle taxpayer dollars for personal use, vis-a-vis his book deal. You could put people out of business and basically fuck up an entire state, okay? And that's all right. That's fine. It's totally allowed. But if you put your arm around someone, you call them sweetheart, you're the fucking devil. That's the lesson to be learned here, kids. So if you ever become a governor or some kind of political person, don't do that. All right? Truthfully, I'm gonna miss Nostrilgate, but I'm sure this new governor will give us something to talk about in the coming months. Fuck Cuomo. Seriously, I should get a fucking Emmy for my coverage of Nostrilgate all year. I mean, seriously, that's the truth. Here's a fun fact. The last 3 Democratic governors that New York State had, like in a fucking row, basically, all left in disgrace. And only one of them finished their term without a problem, and that was Wacky Pataki. Okay, so basically Spitzer, he got embroiled in some, prostitution thing. He resigned, and then they installed Lieutenant Governor Patterson. Remember David Patterson, the blind guy? He was fun. Well, I forgot about this, but he couldn't run again because he got embroiled in some conspiracy, some pay-for-play type of bullshit. Yeah, even the blind are corrupted. And that's how we ended up with, illustrious Governor Nostrils. And the only New York governor that we had in my lifetime, besides Mario Cuomo, Mario Cuomo had, there was some speculation with him too, but I'll leave that for another day. But George Pataki, the Polish guy, Wacky Pataki. He's the only one that did his fucking 2 terms. I think he did 2 terms. No problem. Never an issue. I mean, he was the governor during 9/11. He kind of flew under the radar. He didn't make a lot of waves. I mean, it was no great shakes, but he wasn't a problem either. So that says something. So basically, if they don't vote in another Republican governor at election time, okay, after all of this shit, I mean, how many fucking times do we have to deal with a retard before you put someone normal in place, right? So if they don't vote in a Republican governor, then this state is just filled with a majority of garbage people, and we should all move to fucking Florida, okay? Where God help me, I hate to say this, normal, okay? So that's it for Nostrilgate, kids. Stay tuned. Who knows what's going to happen next? And now for your COVID special report. That says it all, kids. So, get your tickets out. Get ready. You know what time it is. The crazy train's about to leave the station. All aboard! Woo-hoo! Okay, first stop, North Carolina. An angler who was fishing from a pier pulled a fish with human teeth out of the bay. Look at this fucking thing, okay? This is an actual fucking fish, all right? Believe it or not, this isn't Photoshop. This is a real, live, actual fucking fish. It's called a sheep's head fish, okay? It's commonly found in the Atlantic Ocean between New York and Brazil. I was blissfully ignorant of this until a couple of days ago, but yeah, apparently this is a real thing. Fun fact, apparently, about sheep's head fish is this is how Sheep's Head Bay, Brooklyn got its fucking name. I always wondered about that because I've looked on a map. I said, I don't understand why they call it Sheep's Head Bay. And nobody in Brooklyn seems to fucking know. Somebody told me once, well, it's because the fucking bay is shaped like a sheep's head. I said, who the fuck even knows what a sheep's head looks like? So I Google Earthed it, Google Map. I said, don't look like a fucking sheep. It's just a straight thing. Like a fucking... I never knew. Now I know, see? So apparently, at one point, there was a fuckload of these fucking fish all along the shoreline in Brooklyn, around that bay area where they used to catch them, so they used to call them... I don't know if you could eat them. I wouldn't want to eat them with a fucking mouth like that, but, hey, what are you going to do? Next stop, Long Island. Okay, Joe Ganascoli I know that name might sound familiar to you, but I'll tell you why. He played Vito Spadafore on The Sopranos. You remember Gay Vito, the big fat gay gangster? You know, he was giving head to some guy in a fucking, in a construction zone. Fat Vito. Well, actually, Ganascoli lives. He's originally a Brooklyn guy. You know, he's a good actor. He's originally a Brooklyn guy. He lives on Long Island, I think in Far Rockaway. Well, apparently, Ganascoli is actually a chef. He was a chef before he was an actor. So he's got this, and he's a funny guy. He's actually a hustler. I mean, he hasn't had that many acting parts since The Sopranos, probably because he's been typecast as a gangster. You know, I understand that plight, believe it or not, but he's a hustler. You know, like I mean, he owns the patent for like these. You know, you ever watch like a football game, like they have the big thing of Gatorade, and then like they have a sleeve over it, like a spandex type of thing, and it's whatever the team is. So he's a big Giants fan, right? So he gets depressed halfway through football season, just like I do. So he owns the patent for that. He invented those. He manufactures them, so he makes a few bucks off of that. But apparently his new thing is you can hire him to come to your house and basically cook for you. He makes like a whole big like Italian spread, you know? I mean, like, he spends 10 hours there, moves in for like 3-4 days, you know. He'll take a shit in the bathroom and not flush it, you know. But you know something? No. This is actually a cool thing. You know, it seems pretty cool. You could basically rent them out rent the chef, you know. And I guess he tells you the Sopranos story. He basically hangs out with you, you know. Shit, you know, maybe one day I could get him on the neighborhood kitchen. We could do a few things, you know. Who knows? I'll see how much he charges. I'll charge a guy a few dollars, you know. What the hell? I'm not cheap. Next stop, Martha's Vineyard. Obama's super spreader 60th birthday party last weekend. How the fuck is this okay? All right? I mean, now you can't even walk into a restaurant in New York City without having a fucking vaccination card. There your papers! You know, we turned into the fucking Nazi regime, okay? You gotta have papers to go into a fucking restaurant anywhere in New York. But this fucking asshole could have a fucking super spreader birthday party. Had like 500 people there. They said they scaled it back. Nope, not really. Okay, so, neighbors, I mean, listen, they bitched about the Sturgis rally, saying that was a super spreader and that shouldn't happen, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but Obama's birthday's not a fucking problem, right? If a Republican did this, if fucking Trump did something like this, holy shit, they'd be calling it a super spreader. He's an enemy of the state. He's spreading COVID all over the fucking joint, you know? But they say they said Obama's super spreader was okay because it was held outside. It was held outside in a fucking tent. Now this was something that came up last summer during COVID, like when restaurants would be at limited capacity, but they could stick a tent in the backyard and just fill the fucking tent, and that was all right. Let me explain something to you. You know, not to my subscribers. If you just landed on the Friday wrap up and maybe you're not too fucking bright, let me explain something, and I'll explain it to you guys so you can explain it to other idiots. A tent is not outside. The tent physically is outside, but once you go inside the tent, guess what you're in? You're inside. Yeah, there's sides, there's a top. You're in some kind of a fucking structure. So you're not fucking outside. You're in a fucking tent. So explain to me what the difference is being inside of a plastic building or being inside an actual real fucking building. I don't think there's a difference. Anyone who's got even like a half of a brain cell knows that there's no fucking difference. You're still inside. I could prove it. If it's raining and you're outside, you're going to get wet. If you go into the tent, you're not going to get wet because you're inside. You see? So he had a 60th birthday with no social distancing. No masks were being worn. They said pictures weren't allowed, but some people snuck some pictures on social media and then quickly had to fucking take it down. It was a lot of celebrities, that's for sure. Yeah, because celebrities are fucking dumb. All right? Obama danced all night long. He is the whitest fucking black man I have ever seen. He's probably got like he probably did the white man overbite two-step deal, you know? 60 is a dangerous age to be exposed to the wolf flu. You know what I'm saying? So if you're so worried about the spread of COVID, right? Why would you be having a jam-packed fucking 60th birthday party with no social distancing, no mask? Matter of fact, Nancy Pelosi was there. She's 113 years old. They're trying to kill Nancy Pelosi. That's okay. If that was the outcome of this whole birthday party, I would personally drive to Martha's Vineyard tomorrow, shake Obama's hand, and kiss his wife on both cheeks. Okay? So, neighbors complained. The hoity-toities in Martha's Vineyard. They complained that the traffic was a fucking shit show. Okay? And that people were smoking weed. So, you know what? See what I mean? About fucking stereotypes. So basically, a black family moves into a predominantly white neighborhood, and the first thing they do is throw a loud fucking wild party with a lot of music and weed. Motherfucker, they call that shit upscale ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Obama, he from the projects. Pops, he ain't from the projects. He's from fucking Hawaii. He's from the motherfucking Hawaiian projects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's doing the hula shit and then getting tooted up on some weed, motherfucker. So, hey, what can I say? Next stop, South Carolina. What would be a trip on the crazy train in the summer if we didn't talk about fucking sharks? Okay, so good news is they're allowing people back in the water on Long Island. They say it's okay for now, although a 6 foot fucking whatever the fuck was spotted middle of last week, but they say it's gone now. That's nice. But in South Carolina, a surfer was out, riding the waves, and a friend of theirs was on the shore videoing them or photographing them, and apparently got photobombed by a fucking shark. So as this guy is riding a wave, a fucking shark breached out of the... He had no idea. I mean, from the picture, it looks like the fucking thing was right on top of him. It breached out of the fucking wave. How it missed him, I don't know. Like I said, if that were... I don't surf, by the way. In case you're wondering, no, me and surfboards are not friends. But if I was a surfer and that did happen, that would be the last time I get on a fucking board and ride a wave. There would be shit all over my fucking surfboard. Okay, I wouldn't even want it anymore. I'd leave it there in the sand and go find a nice beach bar and drown my sorrows in some nice blueberry lemon margaritas. Oh, that's delightful. I might have to get up and pour another one. Next stop, we're going to go double back to Long Island. I got some disturbing news the other day about what's happening on the island. Apparently mullets are making a fucking comeback. Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on? Okay, I blame COVID. COVID messed everybody up. Mullets. You know what a mullet is? Short in the front and then fucking long in the back. I mean, if we were in North Florida, I wouldn't be so fucking surprised. Maybe some parts of deep Suffolk County. Wouldn't shock me. But apparently, mullets are making a fucking comeback. You know something? I'm sorry, but I blame the lesbians for this. Okay? I've seen, lesbian women rocking a mullet. Granted, I didn't say they were pretty ones, but they were rocking a mullet, and I think that that everybody's woke. They feel that, they should do it too, so that we're all one big fucked up looking group of motherfucking people. God help all of us. Well, your sports update. Yankees still suck. They're still in third place. Last weekend, I was talking to a bartender, and they were like, hey, the Yankees won 5 in a row. They're going to do it. They're going to go to the World. I wanted to fucking bitch slap this kid, okay? Stop it. Okay, stop. Everyone's working themselves up into a fucking froth because the Yankees won 5 fucking games in a row all year. Big deal. You know what they did on Monday? They fucking lost to Kansas City. Okay? Settle down. All right? Actually, no, sorry. Tuesday they snapped their streak. They're going nowhere. Okay, they're not making a wild card, and even if they did, they don't have the fucking steam to make it past the wild card, through the playoffs, and into the fucking World Series. Ain't gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Look. Last night they had that Field of Dreams. Okay, which I don't understand this shit. You ever see the movie Field of Dreams? Yeah, it's a great movie with Kevin Costner from 1,000 years ago. Fantastic. So Major League Baseball spends millions of dollars to build a fucking baseball field in the middle of a cornfield somewhere in fucking Iowa for one fucking game. Yankees, White Sox. And guess what the Yankees did? That's right, they fucking lost. So this is a big important game, and what do the Yankees do? They take a shit right on the fucking field. They lose. Okay? So they're going nowhere. But the Phillies, on the other hand, I spoke this into existence last week and I couldn't fucking believe it, all right? The Phillies swept the Mets last weekend and knocked them out of first place. As a matter of fact, they knocked them down to third place. And the Phillies take the first place spot. Now, it ain't going to last for too long. All right, Phillies is still in first place, but the Mets have moved up to second. They're 1 game behind the Phillies. Phils are playing the Dodgers. It's too tight. I mean, if the Mets will pop back into first place eventually, but I mean, that was pretty fucking. I was more impressed with that than the Yankees winning 5 in a fucking row. Okay, so I spoke that into existence. Now, hopefully, I speak this into existence too. The ultimate fuck you to Brian Cashman would be if Girardi and the Phillies win the World Series. I know, it's a long shot, I know, but hey, who thought they would have fucking swept the Mets last weekend, right? So that would be the ultimate goal to Brian Cashman. Normally, I don't wish bad things on the Yankees because I love them. I do. I know you probably say, no, I do. I just don't like the whole management system there because they're all fucking retarded. Okay, sorry. NFL, happy to say, football's back, kids. Giants are playing the Jets Saturday at 7:30. But if you're hoping to see how our quarterback Daniel Jones is going to be, how he's going to do, don't hold your breath, kids, because Joe Judge said they're going to sit him for the game. He's not playing. He's not going to come out for a couple of snaps. So this should be an exciting game. Giants and Jets. I mean, it's like two guys going to it's like two guys with limp dicks at a fucking orgy. In NHL news, the Rangers signed goalie Igor Shesterkin to a 4-year contract. I'm happy about this. I like this kid. I said it before. I've said it numerous times in the past. I like this kid. They should I hope he's their top goalie. Last year he wasn't that great, but the whole team overall wasn't that great. But he's still a good goalie. I actually like him better than Lindquist in his prime. Honestly, I always thought Lindquist was a little overrated. Not bad, but overrated. But I like this kid Shesterkin. He's got a lot of promise, and I think he's got some longevity of the team. So, good for the Rangers. On What the Fuck Is That? We're going to talk about verping. Now, people probably are wondering, what the fuck is verping? Verping is when you vomit and burp at the same time. Okay, it's like, you ever hear somebody say, oh, I threw up in my mouth a little. That's a verp. Okay, so it's like a burp and a vomit at the same time. Usually something horrific will induce verping. Okay, matter of fact, the sound you make when you verp is actually, so usually it comes on when something revolting is being discussed. Like, for example, if someone was wondering who's got a worse cum face, Harvey Weinstein or Andrew Cuomo. This is a sick fascination of mine. I know. I often look at people and wonder sometimes, I wonder how fucking ugly their cum face is. Because nobody has, I won't say nobody, but most people, guys especially, I would imagine, do not have a good cum face. I've seen women that don't have a good cum face. You know, it's just because, you know, like, I'm sure mine looks like I'm like either passing a kidney stone or, you know, I'm in some kind of pain or something. But I if you wonder the difference between cum faces with Harvey Weinstein and Andrew Cuomo, that will elicit a verp. Some of you might have verped already. Like, for example, Weinstein, I would imagine, sweats like a savage, and he's probably like an open mouth breather, and there's probably a little spittle coming out of his mouth, and he's got a sweaty comb over hanging down, you know, and maybe one drop at a time, you know, probably got shit all over his face. And Cuomo, it could be equally unpleasant there. I mean, you know, coffee breath, I'm sure, you know, and he could blow a snot rocket the size of a basketball on you at the peak of his excitement. I mean, you see those fucking nostrils? I mean, I can't imagine being a broad looking up at these fucking things. You know, poor Sandra Day, who, by the way, she won the Battle of the Exes. She was vacationing in like Saint-Tropez with her new boyfriend who's like 20 years younger than her. Yeah, she's doing all right, and this guy's playing fucking tune in Tokyo all over fucking Albany. Oh, God. All right, kids. Now let's get serious. I have a very important public service announcement to make. I was out the other day. Was running some errands, post office, bank, that type of shit. And I was eye-raped, not once, but twice, by two separate people on two completely separate occasions within the same hour. Okay? I mean, I can't believe at this fucking day and age, I gotta say this, all right? But the Friday wrap-up is nothing if not educational and informative. So, ladies, please, for the love of Christ, if you're not going to shave your legs for whatever reason, I know some people have like political reasons, health whatever kind of fucking detriment you got in your, whatever mental irregularity is happening inside your head that causes you to not take a fucking razor blade and shaving cream and do nice and shave your fucking legs like a lady, okay? If you want your fucking legs to look like an ape like mine, all right? Fine, that's your prerogative. I don't give a shit. But for the rest of us, for our own sanity, refrain from wearing skirts and shorts, okay? Why the fuck do we gotta suffer? If your legs look like this, wear pants or don't leave the house. Those are your options, okay, fuckers? All right, kids. Stay COVIDless. Stay cool. Remember, no mask, don't ask. Haters can kiss my ass. That's been your Friday wrap-up. Who loves you, babe? I'll see you when I see you.